Let's start on our backs. Walk your shoulders away from your hips. By straightening your elbows, lift your head, lay it back down, level your pelvis, get your hands level. Low back is probably slightly off the mat as long as it's in the pain-free zone. Take a big inhale, feel your belly expand, your ribs wide, and then your collarbones rise. As you exhale, it all deflates and gets smaller. When you come to your next exhale, use a ha sound, like you're fogging up a mirror. Inhale through your nose, belly, ribs, collarbones. As you exhale with a ha sound, just close your lips and still do the ha in your throat. So it's very noisy, you can hear it. And as you do that ha, or the ujjayi breath of yoga, you'll feel a contraction start at your back, come around your waist to your belly, and then your belly button pulls down towards your spine as a result. Lengthen out your left leg. And on your next exhale, lift your leg about an inch off the ground as if your leg is in super glue and you're pulling it up. Use the ha sound or an ujjayi. It's the same thing, but one has the mouth open and the other's closed. On that exhale, also you feel the low halves of the rib cage pull together and down, as if you're putting your ribs into your pockets. We're going to breathe like that throughout this class. Get your breath bigger than yourself. Lengthen the back of your neck. Switch feet. And inch off the floor. If you want to intensify it, you can come to your toes on the other foot. Level your pelvis. Make sure you have equal pressure on both hips. Toes go wide. Bring your knee in on an inhale, up, exhale, lower down. Inhale, point the toes. Exhale, flex the ankle, like you're riding a bike. Inhale, bringing it in and up. Exhale, lower down. Keep your pelvis level with equal pressure on both halves. Use the ujjayi. Switch feet. Pelvis does not move. If you need to hold on to your hips to make sure nothing moves, that's good. Just the leg is moving in the socket. Don't bring the leg in past 90, so right about there. So it's a little bicycle. Stops right about there. Move with your breath. So if you inhale for 3 counts, then exhale for 3 counts. If you inhale for 7 counts, exhale for 7 counts. Then bring your feet to the corners of your mat. You're going to make a snow angel, but the feet are not going to come in closer than this. So inhale, widen the legs, widen the arms. Exhale, bring your feet to the corners of your mat. Inhale, wider than your mat. Exhale, corners of your mat. Inhale, widen. Get the biggest inhale you possibly can, and then exhale, bring them in. Inhale. Exhale. exhale, corners of your mat. Then pretend to press on a gas pedal with both feet. Press hard, squeeze your bottom, squeeze your thighs. Calves are contracting as well as you push on the gas pedal. Toes are widening. Then with your upper body, pretend to pick apples. There's an apple tree. I'm gonna pick. Keep pressing on the gas pedal. Bottom is squeezing. All the muscles of the legs are working. Belly is pulling down towards the spine. Now, the shoulders come off of the mat. Keep squeezing muscles in the low body. If you want to bring your chin towards your Adam's apple, you can lift the head as well, if that's okay with your neck. You can pick apples that are low, apples that are high. And then release, feet to the floor. You're going to lift your bottom. You can hold this bridge, or you can inhale lower and exhale lift. You can pulse in and out of it. Hold it if you can. Feet are pressing towards the front edge of your mat. Use the Ujjayi breath. Press into the whole paddle of your foot, the ball of the big toe, your heel, the outer edge of your feet. And then slowly lower down. If you can, roll over onto your stomach. And up onto your elbows. And you're going to kick your feet. Right foot comes in and kicks. Left foot. Kick it down too. Kick it up and kick it down if you're on a bed or something soft. Arms are shoulder width apart. Kick. 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 Kick in, kick out. Kick in, kick out. Boat. Arms come back in airplane wings, forehead comes down towards the mat. Lift your right leg. Belly comes up, pubic bone anchors down. Ujjayi. Release, lower down, belly up, pubic bone anchors before you rise, and the left leg comes up. Create space in the low back by pulling the navel towards the spine even deeper and reaching the top of your head towards the wall in front of you. Spread your fingers and toes wide. Release. Switch again. Release and switch again. Ujjayi. Release. Hands under shoulders. Press up to a plank on your knees and hold, belly in. You'll have some blankets nearby you. My blankets are way over here, so you don't have to crawl over there. If your blankets were beside you, just pull them in. Bring them down by your knees. Bring your unaffected leg forward. And your affected hip is on the blanket. You're going to rise up and then press to standing. Breathe. You're going to have a block. Yours would be ready for you. Step up onto the block. You can hold on to a wall or a chair. And then you're going to just let your leg dangle and go back and forth. This would be your affected hip. Just giving it a little traction. Give it a little kick and then let it dangle. Place your hands on your hips and make sure they're level. Nothing moves but the leg and the hip socket. Again, you might use a chair for balance for this next one at first. And you'll take a smaller stance at first, and over time you'll get a wider stance. Warrior one position. This back foot is turned in 45 degrees. Bend your front knee, but don't go real low on this. Just about like I am, 50 degrees. Place your hands at your hips, crisscrossed. As if you're pulling swords, you're going to pull them out and up. Spread your fingers out. And then release. Turn forward. Your feet turn out a little bit. Knees always point in the same direction as your second toe, and then bend your knees. Bring your left elbow under your right, backs of the hands together, and then the palms. Inhale up and exhale down. So you're working the thighs. You're not going really low. You don't want to get down that low. Still about 50 degrees at the hip. Release and switch arms. You want to feel like you're working. And at first, the width of your legs will be small, and then it'll get wider. Really 50 degrees at the knee joint. Release, turn to the other side. Hands at the hips, crisscrossed. Back foot turns in 45 degrees. You bend here, not too low. Pull the arms up, spread your fingers wide. Belly in, tail points down. Pull your head back, retract your head. Get fascinated with the movement of your ribs through your ujjayi. release. Back foot comes up to the front foot. You're going to go down the same way you came up on a blanket. This would be your affected leg. And then come all the way down. Plank again. Walk your hands in. Going back up. Affected leg in the back. Press up. Switch legs. Come down. Keep the spine very straight so you don't pass 90 degrees. So you don't bring the leg up like that. This is as high as it can go. And back up. Now balancing. Bring your arms overhead. Bend your knees. Pretend you're sitting into a chair. Belly comes in. And straighten your knees. One-footed. Bring your foot out in front of you. Turn the foot out and back to center. Never in. Out and back to center. Out and back to center. Feel how the leg is separate from the pelvis. And then the tree. Build your mountain pose first. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Pull your belly button in and up. Tail anchors downward. Close the front low ribs together and down like you're putting them in your pockets. Broaden your back and then pull just your shoulders back. And then you've got to retract your head back on top of your spine for balance. And then pick your foot up to the calf, no higher. You never want to be at the knee. And with a hip injury, you don't want to be at the thigh. So keep it here. If you need to, you can touch the big toe down, touching and releasing. You can hold on to something for a little extra balance. Lift your toes and then float them on the ground. So no gripping. Get real tall. You can check your pelvis and make sure it's level. Broaden your back on your inhale. On your exhale, you feel your abs get tighter. On the inhale, you cannot belly breathe here because your abs are holding you together. Your balance is here. So you've got to inhale into your side ribs, or we call this east-west. Breathe up here. Breathe into your back. Get the ribs to move. Belly stays taut. If this is too much for you, you can come down, rest, come back up to it. You feel a lot of work in your foot, but that's great. We want to get it strong. It's very strong endurance. Follow your breath. Pay attention to it. You can bring your hands here, or you can bring your arms overhead. If the arms come overhead, the ribs still have to stay together and down. The knee that's bent, that glute has to squeeze to open the knee up, and the standing knee needs to unlock, just a hair. Release. Build your mountain again, big toes together, heels slightly apart, pull the belly button in and up. Level your pelvis, both sides are the same height. Broaden your back, and then pull just the shoulders back. And then get your head back on top of your spine, chin is parallel to the floor. Other foot comes up. Unlock your knee a hair. Lift your toes, rest them gently on the mat. Get fascinated with your breath. Close the low front ribs. Feel the back side of your body all moving upward. And the front side of your body is anchoring downward. Ujjayi. Become aware of the movement of your lungs. Contract this glute. You may wiggle, but eventually you'll get strong. Your feet will become like rocks. And that's your foundation. Check to make sure your pelvis is level. Both sides are the same height, the ridges of the hips. So you don't want to be down here, that's a problem. This has got to be pulled in. But not too much. You pull it in too much, you're cheating here. This has to be level. That's what's going to strengthen the hips and stabilize them. Belly stays taut throughout the inhale and the exhale. But you feel the strength of the abdominals intensify with the exhale. So both hips are working just differently. Coming back down to the blankets, and eventually you won't need the blankets. You're going to lower down, keeping the spine straight up and down. Come back up. Come up onto your toes. Switch legs. Lower down. Come back up. Up onto your toes. And lower down. And then onto your back. However you can get there. And roll down. Dead man's pose. Bring your heels to the corners of your mat. Let your feet flop open. Turn your palms up. Drop your jaw. Release all the muscles around your mouth and around your eyes. Release around your eyes and mouth. Throat softens. Release down your arms all the way to your fingertips. Drop your jaw again. Throat softens. Belly lets go. Glutes spread like jelly. Thighs let go. Kneecaps float. Calves let go. Feet surrender. Gather up all your thoughts about the past. Set them on a cloud, let them float away. Gather up your thoughts about the future. Set them on a cloud, let them float away. They'll come back later. Affirm the past does not exist. The future does not exist. The only moment in time is this one, so be here. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Take a deep inhale, reach your hands above your head and stretch. Exhale, roll to your unaffected side. And push yourself up to a seated position. You want to be sitting on these blankets in a cross-legged position if you can, or just bring it out in front. Whatever you can manage is fine. Bring your hands in front of your heart and choose 3 blessings and give thanks. As you exhale, nod your ego mind towards your compassionate heart in reverence. Inhale as you rise, and namaste.